So for today, I really want to dive into some things I genuinely wish I've known before turning 20. Honestly, when you're in your early 20s, it can feel like there's a whirlwind of changes and it can get a bit of overwhelming. If you feel a little lost or like life is throwing a lot at you, I just want you to know that you are definitely not alone. I'm here to share some of my experience and what I have done to overcome those challenges that I hope will make you feel a bit more understood and a little less surprised by all these twists and turns. It's really about letting you know that we are all figuring it out together. You know, when I was at that age, just stepping into independent life right after high school, I was just so excited. I remember feeling like, wow, I'm finally free. I can do whatever I want and no one looking over my shoulder. Back then, I was just thrilled about all the positive sides of that freedom. I even lose sleep just by thinking about it. But looking back, I realized I was a bit naive. I was so caught up in the excitement of being my own that I really didn't understand what it would feel like to handle everything myself or deal with unexpected challenges when far away from home. I spent a lot of time feeling confused or a bit down before I really addressed this. So, I wish I've known it's totally okay to take time to get used to all that, and I hope that by sharing this, it helps you feel a little bit more prepared and a little less alone. Your early 20s can be some of the most memorable years of stepping into independence. One of the first things that really hit me in my first years away from home was how different friendships can be. When I left high school and moved to a big city, even studying in a whole different country, I was so excited at first. I thought friendships would just fall into place easily because everyone seemed so friendly and new. But after a few months, I realized it was a bit different than I expected. Everyone had their own schedules, of course, and we were all from different backgrounds. So it took longer to build those close friendships like I had back home. It was a bit of learning curve to accept that friendships might grow more slowly and in different ways. And that's totally okay. And you know, living far away from home meant handling everything on my own, from the cooking, studying, running errands. After a while, it all felt a bit like being on autopilot, and I sometimes felt lonely without someone close to talk to. Plus, as a student, not having a lot of money to go out and do social things added to that feeling. But in the end, all of that was part of growing and becoming independent. It gave me a chance to get to know myself better, even if it was tough at the times. I learned to be on my own friends and found strengths that I didn't know I had. Another thing around that age that I started asking myself bigger questions like who I really am and what I actually value. I remember struggling a lot to figure out what kind of person I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up in front of others and how I wanted people to see me. It's absolutely not like picking out clothes or choosing a meal. It's more invisible and all in our head. And it took me a while to figure things out. Along that journey, I also faced some challenges communicating with different people, especially when I had my first part-time jobs. I realized that while most people are kind, there's always a few who aren't so easy to deal with, and that was a life lesson in itself. I had to learn how to handle different situations, set boundaries, and figure out how I wanted to be treated. It wasn't always easy, but I'm grateful for those experiences now because they helped me grow and understand myself better. It's a part of becoming independent and figuring out who I want to be. Another challenge is about choosing a career path. At first, I just went with the flow and didn't have a solid plan for my future. I just picked something that seemed interesting and was trending at the time and thought, let's see where this goes. I didn't do a lot of deep research or ask others for advice. I just followed what I felt right in the moments. And because of that, my first couple of years were a bit of struggle. I worry about making the wrong choice and whether this path was right for me and what kinds of value I could bring to the pupil. But I realized that it's okay to just pick something that resonates with you and then dedicate yourself to it. Put in your time, your energy, and don't give up halfway. Eventually, when you start seeing some success by your own definitions, you can decide if you want to stay on that path or try something new. It depends on you. The key is to not jump from one thing to another too quickly. Just stick with it and see where it leads. Another big thing I had, how to manage my finances. I had to teach myself to budget for my living expenses and set aside a little for emergencies. It was definitely a lot of trial and error, and sometimes I was really bad at it, which meant I had no money set aside for emergencies sometimes. Luckily, I had friends who helped me out at a time, and that was a huge lesson for me. It really taught me the importance of budgeting and saving, and I think it laid a strong foundations for the future. And I really wish I'd known all of this sooner and had someone to guide me. But also feel grateful at the same time for going through those challenges because I've learned so much from it. And for now, I will share those simple things that I always do when I get some challenge along the way. The first thing is that the practice of self-reflections. I made it a habit to set aside just a few minutes a day to write down my thoughts and my worries and how I was feeling. It was like giving myself the space to really put out everything on paper without any filter. Looking back at those notes, I realized how much clarity it brought to me. It was like having a gentle guide, helping me see my own patterns and the areas where I could grow. It also helped me manage stress, almost like having a heart-to-heart with a close friend inside my own mind. And beyond that, building small, healthy routines was a game changer. I usually take around 10 minutes work or just spend some time for doing exercise each day. It might seem small, but it makes a world of difference. It gives your mind a break from the constant worries and helps you stay balanced. And it's amazing how these little activities can refresh your spirits and spark new ideas, helping you tackle challenges with a clear mind. And of course, one thing I need you to remember that whenever you have a mistake, it's not a failure. They're just feedbacks, a gentle push to help you grow a little more each day. Honestly, I still rely on these habits now, and they really helped me feel more confident and in control in what I'm doing. And it's a long journey, and I'm very grateful for every step of it. And those are the things I really wish I could tell my younger self, and I wish that my younger self known in my early 20s is that this whole journey is really about laying the foundations for everything that comes next. Those challenges may feel tough, but they're really life lessons that we all have to go through. I hope that by sharing this, you find something helpful for yourself, and If you are going through the similar struggle, please know that you are not alone and you can absolutely get through it. And I believe in you. I hope you enjoy this and find it useful. And I wish you have a wonderful and a productive day ahead. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!